regional map, a local map. You are a good draftsman, you can make a map. So geology graduates are really having a lot of knowledge. That is what I have established here. Next one, please. And lab studies. My dear Shashank Pratap Singh is seeing a microscope and his friend is so much morose. But these are the domains, fluid inclusion studies, APMA studies. These are the laboratory studies which we are supposed to know. This is the GSI laboratory actually. Next one. Mineral exploration, we know where to drill, how the coal is drilled, how the mineralized belt is drilled. Then the paleo placer in Indians, again Madan's house photographs. Mining is our domain. Our soccer students have recently gone to the manganese in Balaghat area, and this is the diamond type of mine. Geochemistry, geophysics is our domain. How the geochemistry is important for us. You can see next one. See, in the Agucha lead zinc area, they have got the red mark, the anomaly zones, and they have enhanced the prospectability of this area by geochemistry. This is a GSI map. Next one. Remote sensing is a new thing. Everybody should know remote sensing, image processing, and sort of interpretation of seeing false color composites and all those things. This is one of the areas where so many elements have been marked on the images. Next one. Ultimately, you get into broad data where the whole India has been interpreted by GIS. Next one. So ultimately, we know all these things. The distribution of rock, structural features, the fossil assemblage, geomapping is our sort of a strength. Next one, please. Here I have written these are the so without geology, the human being has really very difficult times. We are into everything. A bulb is also having all the defense equipment. So wherever the geologist is important for anything. Electricity is the nuclear power stations are our domain. So without our finding the minerals, we cannot prosper. Copper wires, tungsten, REs, everything is actually from the geologist pocket or geologist features. Next one, please. This is our trump card. Minerals. We are the people who can identify. Today only I have sent to Jitendra that in our area, how they are finding the minerals, the geologists of GSI are prospecting in that area. So it is our domain. Nobody else can do. Finding of minerals is our contribution to the world. Actually, next one. I think main strength is we know the time. What has happened in various times on the Earth crust, right from the Big Bang to the Hadean, the 4600 million year to the present, and what will happen in the future is also to be prognosticated by us. So that is our strength. So my request, next one please. My request to the students is please understand this chart. Even if you don't remember these things, but you can you should see like the geological map. You have to understand the chronology. What has happened? What were the extinction times? What happened during the Permian Triassic time? What happened in the Cretaceous Triassic? our CT boundary, KT boundaries, and all those things. You have to understand how many glacial cycles were there and what are those who are coming. You must read all these things. And minerals are not in every year. So there is always a misconception. We Sagarwala say we do applied geology, so we are better. No, everybody is knowing pure geology, the nature of the rock, the nature of the minerals, the nature of the strata. And if you apply that knowledge to construction, to mining, to environmental protection, the land side studies, that is the applied part of it. So there is hardly any difference between just your extension of knowledge of geology into, say, societal work or mineral extraction work. That is the earthquake, say, resistant structure. This is our applied geology part of it. So there is hardly any difference, I should say. The last year of MTech or MSc Tech, we do applied geology for mining geology, groundwater, and all those things. Next one, please. Another aspect where we join is geophysics, or the geophysics people are interpreting based on the physical features and physical data about the earth, and we geologists are always seeing the rocks, and then so there is hardly we are actually complementing to each other. So if you are say there is always a doubt whether I should take a MTech applied geology or I should take geophysics. So I say to students, you do anything, you should be good at it. If you are doing geophysics, please read it well. When I said that we know these things, who are our employers? This is the topic of today's. So I have divided, or we can divide into 5, 6. You can take 5 to 1. You can take 2 to 1. Anything you can do. But I think with all regards to my teachers, academics is the most important thing. You build we geologists actually. Civil services, of course, is again a different domain. If you are liking it, most of them like it, and it's a very, very lucrative. So let it be there. But teaching and researching, to me, it is the most important thing. If you have good teachers, you will be building good students. You will be making good explorers. That is my submission here into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have written that government sector is safe and the private sector is very, very unsafe. Anytime you can be removed. And self-employment, no, God, nobody should venture into that one. But I say that a lot of people have gone into say this GIS, mineral exploration, and they are doing so good. They are employing the geologists. So it's one of the things we should be taught. Any mineral find, anything, if you are say digging it and you are selling it, you will be able to earn more money than any. So in common sector, you are into the projects as per the say. Projects assigned to, but in self-employment you can do anything. We have got one Mr. Gupta in Katni. He is doing in ceramics. So academics also, there are two possibilities. You go to foreign country and teach after doing GRE, TOEFL, and all those things. It's again a very good field. Gautam Mitra and so several, Jay Ganguly. You talk of all the big names, they are all in foreign countries. So these are again the same thing, the 5 sectors where you can try your, say, let us see now the list of people who employ us. Next one. This is a short list. If you get this PPT, you can read it. GSI, IBM, MECL, NIO, you name the thing, there are hundreds of, and the private sector, there are thousands who are employing us. So if you are good at it, if you are good in minerals, if you are good in coal, if you have done the bark examination and joined the AMDER, so you can really do good work, including research. If you are, say, finding industrial minerals, even graphite, even clay, even shale, even garnet, even feldspar, they're all being used and being sold. Even sand is being sold. So there are the n number of areas where you can get employment, and mining is a very, very big venture. It is really a lot of cost is there. Only if you are having some sort of a bank support, then only you should venture into mining. But a lot of employment is there. Even if you are a raw material supplier, you can be getting your own sort of venture. So this is the whole list I've tried to make. Another area is the legislation, which is under ministries. Our government does the legislation. And Indian Bureau of Mines is the executive. So IBM is another area. A lot of geologists are there. I request all of you to go through the IBM site and learn about these things. What is the auction rule? What is the exploration trust rule? And all those things. And then learn about the environment. Environment is a in thing. So if you are into the say legislation side, if you are joining a law firm, please read all these things. It is very interesting, though very drab is non-geological, but it is really so having the geology part of it, so you will be able to relate yourself over there. Research is another field where you can say in the alloy making, in the beneficiation, in the metallurgy. Lot of say organizations are CSIR. These things are there, laboratories are there. So you can have the employment. This is the whole list I've tried to make. Next one, please. In the private sector, so this again, petroleum field, geophysics, disaster management, oceanography, the whole earth science domain I have tried to list. For jobs in the government organization, AMD, and such, you have to go to the BARC examination. The GATE is a really difficult. You have to learn. NET is also another say avenue. And this is the I have tried to say list it, and their symbols are there. Hundreds of companies are there who are employing the geologists in the field of engineering projects, in the field of geophysical survey, groundwater survey. So there is no dearth of job as far as the whole scenario is concerned. Next one, please. Yeah, if you get ONGC, they're so happy. Yeah, any job you get, so even if we are in a teaching. Next one, please. We build the nation. We build the nation. This is a cement factory or a big one. MP Builders. Next one, please. Let me show you, because I told that, okay, GSI does a lot of things. There's a list, it's a creation of database, mineral resources, a marine survey, glaciological, the disaster, the fundamental research. So GSI is a big domain. Nobody, I think, touches all those things. The universities also take up small areas of such work, but GSI is having all. And there are about, say, 20, 30 offices all over the country. Next one, please. Yeah, there are JTA, there are STA, there are assistant geologists, geophysicists are there. I have not included chemists because geology graduates are not taken to chemists. So these posts are filled by the vacancies declared by the government. As per the GSI's demand based on retirement. Last year there was no demand, so I hope next year there will be some demand. CGWB also takes from our geologist examination. Next one. This is the general scenario of our examination. There will be preliminary, there will be main examination. We are expecting the result of 2019 in a day or two, where we will be getting it about 54 geologists. Then the PT. PT is very tough. Preliminary is also very tough because it's general subjects. So you have to be preparing right from your MSc previous for all these things, preliminaries, mains. Hopefully you get through the preliminaries. Mains are very easy that way. This year's questions I was seeing, it's very easy if you are doing good. But the gate and the net are pretty tough. Next one. Some tips. So these are the listed tips. You must be very serious and always think that I should be successful. Go through the things. Don't read much, but read enough. Read the books, not many books, some of the books, and try to solve the problems. As many as questions, that will be a success. You should be good, actually. You should be having that much of comprehension so that you can answer, because the whole syllabus is covered in the about 11 questions are there. Out of that, 6 you have to do, and the question number 1 is always compulsory. Within that there are 10 sub questions. So you have to be good, and at least you should get about 50% mark in the written. And the preliminary is also marks are counted, so preliminary also you should prepare. So right from today you start preparing for the UPSC examination, including forest service. So this is the rough schedule which Suresh Pandey sir has given to all his students, and they were successful. They stood about first or second also. So this is the. I don't say that this is the ultimate panacea, but this is the important thing. You please. Your success will be definitely there if you do according to this thing. Next one, please. Yeah, the humble submission for your success. You have to toil. Next one, please. I saw continuous persistent effort. I wish you all the good luck. Next one, please. More awareness through, there are 2-3 source slides. We must go through these things. Next one. All the websites, GSI has got an app also. Everything is over there. The GSI TI has given all sort of subjects which will be useful to you. This is apart from what you learn in your colleges. These are the all helpful things which you should say. All of you should note down gsi.gov and the application GSI. I get a lot of things from here. Though I was in GSI and I should have, but from the app you get a manual of geology, you get the state geology. Everything is in the app. So please go through these websites and the websites of the ministries. All these ministries who are employing us, please download all these 10 days I was doing these things. See, websites of the private companies, they say that we want the best, we give you the best. So please download all those data, and at least 1 hour you do this thing. Next one, please. This is the way the advertisements are coming. CIFR. Next one. This is the. I'm just sharing that there are advertisements which are coming, so you should be in look for that one. Unfortunately, we people have not made a sort of a group where we share these advertisements. Excepting a few, Akhand Pratap Singh is giving me some data on these things. So please make a group where we share the opportunities also. Next one. This is the way the recent one, NCCR. Some project works are coming, so you can be engaged over there. They are giving a good amount, 35,000, 67,000. So, and if you are good, they will be employing you also. So this is the way the advertisements are coming. Next one. It's not at all about. Next one. We look black, but our inside is red. So let us always be in cheers. Next one, please. I wish you all the luck to all my friends who are waiting for the job. Thank you very much. I hope with all disturbance completed.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful lecture, and you have covered all the sub-branch of geology.
I hope so, Jitin.
The domain of the geology, and you have explained how things are happening in the different domain. Plus, you have really prepared a nice list of all the website, job portals, and all these things, and it's going to be very helpful for the students. And if, with your permission, I can share this information to the student, and also I will announce to the student that sir has also prepared another PPT, what he has shared with me. It's about all the books, like for different subdiscipline, what are the best books are available. It's listed down in the PPT, and that PPT I have already talked to sir, and I'm going to share with you all. So now it's time for the
Thank
discussion.
you so much, Jitendra. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful lecture. So now we'll move to our next event, that is our panel discussion. And meanwhile, I request students, they can put their questions in the chat box, plus means in the Google chat box as well as in the YouTube chat box, so that we can pick the question and we can put in the discussion. So now I request all our distinguished panelists to switch on their camera. So now we can have a discussion, and then followed by the question answer session. So with this, I request the panelist, Professor Nainwal, Harishchandra Nainwal from Gadwal University, and Dr. Vikram Bisal, Associate Professor from IIT Bombay, is basically specialized in engineering geology, and Dr. R. Anand, he is a geochemist, igneous metamorphic specialization is in that field, is from ISM Dhanbad. Dr. Ranjan Dekka, he is a director, Capstone Geoconsultant India Private Limited, Hyderabad. So I welcome you once again. I welcome you all here in the panel. So as already we had a nice talk from Sri N.K. Datta Saabji regarding this career opportunity, the scope, and how the different domain works. So now I will invite Professor S.C. Nainwal to put his view regarding the career opportunity in the earth science. What is the Indian scenario? How a student will prepare towards that? So Nainwal sir, so over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Jitin. मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me in this session. So first of all, I would like to thank Sri N.K. Datta Sahab. His lecture was very, very wonderful. And actually, he has covered all the things, whatever we want to say. So he has already spoken all the aspect of the, you can say, geology. However, at present, the mankind and our planet are facing many challenges due to climate change and related factors. And particularly the depleting energy resources and increasing environmental concerns are causing a lot of headaches for all countries across the world. And this has created enhanced career opportunities for geologists and earth science to satisfy society demand for natural resources while maintaining the Earth's natural environment. So basically the earth science, it is a study of the earth and its neighbor in space, and it is a very exciting science with many interesting and practical applications. One section of the earth science uses their knowledge of the earth to locate and develop energy and mineral resources, and other study the impact of human activity on the earth's environment and design method to protect the planet. A few earth scientists use their knowledge about the earth processes such as volcanoes, earthquakes, and hurricane to plan communities that will not expose people to these dangerous events. However, basically we can say when we are talking about the earth science, so it is a geology which is the science of earth. Then we can tell about the meteorology, which is the science of the atmosphere. Then oceanography, which is the science of the ocean. And the astronomy, which is the science of the universe. So as Datta Sahab already spoke about some of the important aspects regarding the, you can say, employment and opportunities in the earth science. However, at present, I am presently working on the glacier and from the Himalayan terrain. Here, a lot of engineering projects are coming in the Himalayan terrain, as well as the construction of the roads, as well as the railway. So, our number of students, they are getting jobs from these projects also. So, and due to this climate change scenario, there are so many jobs, particularly for the earth scientists. They are also, you can say, in the MNCs also, in some of the private and public sectors also. So there are a lot of jobs. There is, you can say, no scarcity of the job in the earth science. So in my view, basically, if Datta Sahab was elaborating that there is a limited scope about the self-employment, but what I feel, particularly in the Uttarakhand Himalaya, that there is an opportunity of self-employment also, because if you do some consultancy work, but that consultancy work needs some experience also. Yeah, you can say beginner cannot do this one, but if you associated some senior person, a lot of person at Dehradun from the Geological Survey of India, they are also working for that one. So that consultancy work, as well as the work for the engineering project, giving their engineering report as well as geological report, that is also one of the opportunities for the employment for the geologists also. So thank you very much, Patnaik sir.
Self-employment and the scenario what you see there in Uttarakhand. So with this, I invite next panelist. We'll come back to you, sir, with the question from the student as well as from the other panelist. So now I'll request Dr. Bikram Bisal from IIT Bombay to put his view on this career opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Nitish sir, for the wonderful lecture. As mentioned, you have covered almost most of the domains that we were actually thinking about. Starting from the conventional domains and the works of GSI to taking it forward to Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's really wonderful. So I'll also think on those lines and take forward what I have over the years seen changes in geoscience career, and also the opportunities that are there for the future direction. As the previous speaker just mentioned about climate change, so in that climate change mitigation, the role of a geologist is very important. So what exactly, what I work on, or our group at IIT Bombay focuses on, is called as the carbon capture and storage. So geological carbon dioxide storage is known around the world for enhanced oil recovery for almost 5 decades now. But in general, the efforts towards reduction of carbon dioxide emissions, in scale of gigatons, will require a lot of subsurface space for CO2 storage. And so what I see, is geologists, stratigraphers, reservoir engineers, well site geologists, geophysicists, reservoir modelers, and also exploration geologists. These are the domains that are very vital to understanding the subsurface, to map out the capacity of CO2 that will be stored in the subsurface. That's first thing that I'll talk about. Second thing that I think what also Nitish sir mentioned about the environment. So now, the way that the world is moving, the population rise and the changing of the environment. We are at Mumbai, we have witnessed continuous rainfall for the last 10 days. So the severity of these events have changed, and also how we are damaging the environment at a very small scale is also affecting the overall pattern of weather and other damages around the world. So what I say is what we all know is think global but act local. So as geologists, we'll have to focus on these agenda for environmental assessment and mitigation of these impacts. The other third domain that I can think of is remote sensing and GIS. It has taken unprecedented momentum in the last couple of decades, and definitely in the last couple of years. So it's used for very far and wide applications, starting from agricultural planning to urban mapping to even space exploration. So it can be applied to disaster management, as Hariji was saying right now in Uttarakhand, Himalaya. We have these, so many natural disasters happen, particularly in the hilly areas. So using the drone navigation, GPS, different applications can come into play. So as geologists or geoscientists, as we call, we have to evolve to the changing needs of the society and how we can adapt to the growing changes and be more relevant to the context in the future. One more point that I think of is of course, we are now included in the curriculum at IIT Bombay also, is regarding artificial intelligence, machine learning. So these also have kind of penetrated every industry in today's time. So it can be used to almost all fields of geosciences. For example, oil industry is using AI a lot for prediction of the oil deposits. So as we call, we find oil in the old place with an old idea. But to find oil again or gas again in the old place, we need new ideas. So we have all the data that has been acquired over the years. How we can assess the data and use artificial intelligence to predict, find out these resources. So oil deposits, mapping, mineral exploration, groundwater exploration, to climate modeling. All of these will have aspects of artificial intelligence. Last point I would like to bring forward is the space mining. We have been hearing about Virgin Galactic and SpaceX, all these, happening where people can visit the space. So, it's going to grow in a big way. In India, our ISRO has been working enormously on that front. So I see that there is a lot of scope for geologists to work in that space as well in the future, and the scenario is going to change. And asteroids, for example, are considered to be worth billions, and in metals and minerals that can be understood there. So I think space mining is also another aspect that in some universities have also started courses in their planetary science program to consider space mining. So these are the domains that I think could be added to Sir's lecture. It was already covered most of it. So some thoughts that I have, I shared it in this way. So thank you so much for the.
Thank you, Dr. Bikram. So
Bikram, Pandale sir's subject, geostatistics, that gives a lot of that's not being developed. I don't know, no university is teaching geostatistics, only a few. Pandale has to take the lead. Geostatistics is a thing that everywhere it is applicable, and it can be learned by rigging and all those things. All the mining companies should utilize that thing. Pandale sir has to be.
Yeah. In fact, he also taught me when I was a student here. So he's there with us in the department now. Yeah, still.
Other things are very well known, but the fringe science are still not known to the like my Chhatarpur walas, of my Tikamgarh walas, even Sagar walas. We do not do that statistical. The teachers are not there.
Here, sir. Actually, we don't have a specialized person, but actually we teach this geostatistic, quantitative geoscience. Those things we actually teach, and we actually show them like how different kind of modeling and statistics is very useful for other things, other analysis and all. Okay, thank you, Dr. Bikram. So now we'll move to the next panelist, Dr. R. Anand from ISM Dhanbad. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Patnaik. It was a nice interaction with the rest of the panel members and Datta sir. So like much of the points were said already by Dr. Vishal also. Now, like if we look at the past 20 years, before that, the geographic information system was becoming the talk of the day. So now where we have progress towards, if you look at GIS and this geospatial technologies where they've used the GPS and all of these, we have the comfort today that we can order our food or anything that you want at the comfort of your home. So you can use the technology in such a way that it makes your life easier, simpler. In the similar way, in geological sciences also, like what Dr. Vishal was also pointing out, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and these modern technologies are being applied in a large way. And definitely we are going to use much of the resources more economically and more in a more environment friendly way by applying these technologies. Like Professor Nainwal was pointing out, our impact on this environment has been enormous, and we also have a major role to it as geologists. We have contributed in a large way to the consumption of the Earth's resources, and now the prerogative is on us. We again have to use the technology in the proper way to extract minerals in a very environment-friendly way. And now recently also we see that a lot of research is being put into on utilizing the mine wastes, the mine dumps and the mine tailings, from which we can use the information that we already have collected and try to extract the economically important metals and minerals from there. Thereby, our dependence on exploration and a further destruction of the planet is controlled. I'm not saying that we can completely do away with not exploring and mining, but we have to apply technology in a very positive way. And so this is one aspect where in the present day, other than being compartmentalizing as a student yourself to only geology, you should try to explore your use your free time to learn more about these big data or machine learning, which are lots of internet courses are available. So you have to upskill. Nowadays we call this term upskill. That is, you improve your skill. Your skill your skill set has to become more versatile. You should compartmentalize yourself into only geology or even anything, even for paleontology, even for fundamental research. Big data has got a lot of applications. Nowadays, people use the geochronological data, the magnetic data, and all of these data are combined together and made into stacks of data. And from that, more interpretation is being made. Actually, in the earlier days, like even 30-40 years before, our idea of research was too focused, and now it has become so wider that you can actually stack information parallel and you can extract more information out of that. Like we know about the CPU, which is a central processing unit. Nowadays we have these applications of this graphics processing unit. They call it as GPU, that is a general purpose graphic processing unit, where the strength of computation is being used to graphically stack data in multiple layers and try to interpret more than what your focus has been. So this is going to be the future, and which is very important that we have to apply the state-of-the-art technology to improve our quality of extraction and the quantity of extraction of materials from the. Unfortunately, geologists generally it appears that the main importance is given for only exploration. But like Professor Nainwal was pointing out, climate change is a huge thing that is happening, and climate change is a reality. Of course, there is a natural change in the overall climate of the Earth, but human activities are accelerating it. We have to recognize that, and we have to again use the strength of the data that we have been generating over the past century and interpret better. So one final point I would also try to make it here, that academia is an important field as a career option. Okay, like if you are some of you are the best in the class, and unfortunately the industry, most of the best minds are taken by the industry, and eventually what happens, the education takes a backseat. And at the college level, we now are saying that only the IITs are the best places. It shouldn't be the case. Every single university in the country should have the best minds teaching and doing research. And unless the best students take up academia as a career option, this is not going to happen. Of course, it is not such a lucrative career when you compare with some corporate jobs. But it is very satisfying. You have a lot of freedom. You do what you want to do. And of course, you have to also follow the system, but you have a lot of freedom in academia. And I encourage that as students, you should keep research and an academic position as a career option. Thank you, Dr. Patnaik.
Anand, can I ask you? Okay. which are the institutes who are say, into this sort of interface where the geologists can go for say machine and data mining, and there are the which can we can list and give to Jitendra so that he can perpetuate.
Certainly, sir.
That field is not well known actually. Some of the things, as you said, we know Reliance is doing gas, SR is doing gas, but such a say fringe area and the interfaces are not known actually. So we do not know. Even in Sagar, we are not having that sort of awareness. So can you make some sort of a list and give it to Jitendra, who can put it in that trust in some place.
Thank you. Thank you.
It will be becoming our ambassador for careers of the art scientists.
Thank you.
There are a lot of jobs actually. If you are good, you need not come to GSI.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Anand, for your viewpoint on this career opportunity. You have really explained about different about the big data and the environment, like mine exploration and all, keeping the environment protected. Like it's more like towards the sustainable development. Towards the green, or we can call it as in the green way, how we can explore the things. Thank you very much. Now we'll move. We'll listen our next panelist, Dr. Ranjan Dekka. Will from his point will be little bit different because now so far we are talking about this academia and this thing, and we'll listen from him from his points.
Welcome, Ranjan.
Dr. Ranjan, over to you. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Happy afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Patnaik, to have me here with the other panelists. I'll briefly speak on the theme that is developing oneself in the mineral industry by contributing in the field of geosciences. I hope I'll be able to assimilate and disperse my thoughts within the short framework of this session. Today, I shall take this opportunity to present before you a glimpse of the immense potential that the subject of geosciences holds in the industry. I'm, however, not going to touch a significant component in the category of academia and research, which other panelists have already touched into. Neither in on the scope in oil and gas sector. My main foray of speech shall be related to the field of mineral exploration and mining. Well, mineral usage as mineral usage are an integral part of our daily needs. Be it the glass you use to drink, the place you take food in, the building you stay in, the computer laptop you use, the mobile components, automobiles, steel structures, tiles, glass panels in your windows and doors, the solar panels, and even the paper you use. So the list is exhaustive and literally unending, and so are the opportunities. I understand that by now, you might have started, and this is for the students, of course, you might have started gazing on the things around you to figure out which minerals might that thing be made of. You might also have a forethought on the diverse industries that are engaged in producing these commodities. Going further upstream, you might also start thinking about where this raw material comes from and how this material is processed in the plants to give us the final product. That is the commodity we use. Being a student in the field of geosciences, you might have also figured out that all these minerals are tapped from the very Mother Earth. And now I would expect you to understand the importance of a geoscientist who would find the deposit, evaluate its resources, account for its richness, what in industry terms we call as the grade, and then advise the promoters on the process by which it should be extracted from arms of the earth with a minimum harm to the environment, what is we now call as the sustainable development. Your role as a geoscientist in industry would be both adventurous and responsible. Adventurous since you would get a chance to explore in different parts of the globe. And responsible since your assessment would help the promoter understand viability of a project and optimal use of its resources. It happens many a times that an inexperienced promoter would, without taking any advice of a geologist or being poorly advised, uses its capabilities unnecessarily to dig up mines haphazardly or late abandoned when resources exhaust or are not found. Such practices pose an immense threat to the environment and the community nearby, and eventually the global community as such. Your magnanimous role should be to discourage any such misadventure and advocate for sustainable development. To do justice to such a role, your organization's skills and ability to foresee the outcome would help grow your knowledge base, experience, and excellence in your professional profile. So what skills and ability are we talking about? Well, we are talking about our mental ability to perceive a geological setting in 3D space. For that, your knowledge gathering aptitude in all branches of geosciences will play a vital role, be it the discipline of petrology and mineralogy, in rock identification, be it stratigraphy, where the geological timescale when the rock is formed is to be known, the structure, where you understand the signature of deformation and mass balance that the Earth's process has brought into the rock unit, and nature of mineralization therein. There could be geomorphology, plate tectonics, even geochemistry, where you know the rock composition and various phases of mineral alteration it has gone through. And then geophysics, to understand the dynamic processes by assessing physical parameters such as magnetic, gravity, electrical, electromagnetic, and so on. And of course, remote sensing and GIS for regional to semi-regional and local scale studies, which are mostly interdisciplinary. Remote sensing has critical applications in field of mineral signature identification through alteration mapping. Now, talking about mineral deposits, you may get a chance to work on a simple stratified deposits such as coal, limestone, gypsum, phosphate, bauxite, or even iron ore. I'm talking about a global context. You may also get a chance to work on a more complex deposits such as gold, silver, base metal, and many more. Other genres of interest could be the industrial minerals such as quartz, feldspar, mica, clay, mineral sand, chromite, manganese, graphite, you name it. The list is again exhaustive and it's global, anywhere in the world. No matter what the type of deposit you work upon, for efficient delivery of result that is expected from you, you would need to assimilate your thoughts on how the deposit must have formed in the geological time, in which state it might occur under the present day conditions. Prospecting technique would best be utilized to evaluate the resources. Since no more than a few % of deposits are available right on the ground, your perspective would help in understanding the hidden resources better. And your perspective would grow strong with your knowledge on this related disciplines of geosciences. And when you can perceive the nature of deposit efficiently, you would be recognized as an accomplished geoscientist by the industry. Ultimately, the rewards you receive would be proportional to your maximum contribution in minimum span of time, be it as a consultant or a responsible position in a company. That is all that I have to share with you at the moment. Wish you all the best with career that you choose in the field of geosciences. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anand, Dr. Dekka, for your wonderful thought, and you have nicely explained about what exactly industry need from a geology. It's not that the subject matter what we learn, how we are executing, and the deliverable thing what you have explained in the last, that was more important. Like in the academia, we have taken up a project and we have like time things, and but in your case, like when you are coming with the result, somebody else is completely depend on that result, so that he can plan for a mine or it can plan for something else. Accordingly it will go, so the responsibility is much more on that aspect.
Right, very much. Very much.
Thank you so much. So now, like, it's now open for the discussion. Like across the panelists, if they have any query, they can have this discussion. Maybe one question from each of these panelists. Otherwise, I can move to the student. Some of the students, they have asked some questions through WhatsApp and through this YouTube that I can also put here. If you have any query, means among the panelists, they want to discuss any point.
Can I ask Nanwal sir? Nanwal sir,
Yes, sir.
HNB, all the subjects are covered or not? It's some sort of anxiety, because a lot of students are asking about some queries actually, mostly on the disaster and all those things. BIST has gone. BIST is there or not?
This stage is also there, but presently he is on leave and he is director in a state application center of the state government. So actually we are imparting MSc Geology as well as BSc Geology, and I am presently working in the glaciers basically.
Okay.
And we are one of the university who are giving a special paper in the glaciology also.
Okay.
So in glaciology, we have a very good lab there. And we have GPR, we have DGPS,
Wow.
and we have a fieldwork station on the Satopan Glacier with our some of the colleagues from the ISR Pune and from Institute of Mathematical Science Chennai. So we have AWS also there, Automatic Weather Station. And I'm just sharing one of the experience of mine when we are working on that glacier basically. So one of my students, he was working on the total station. So one of the, I think some senior person from the GP, he was returning back from the Badrinath and he just saw us that we are doing some surveying. So he told me what we are doing. So he says that we are doing the surveying for in the periglacial zone of the glacier and just demarcating some of the geomorphological feature and some other geological features also. So he told me that can you spare this student if he understand about the total station? Yes, Manika, he is very good in the handling of the total station. So on that point, you can see in the way of the Badrinath, he told me you send this student to Chandigarh for the interview. So Manika, why you are not, you can say, recruiting rather than the engineer? A geologist can work as a geologist also as well as an engineer if he is good in the surveying. So that student got the job in the JP and presently he is in a very senior position there. So this is
A lot of avenues are there. Actually, our students should know the whole gamut of geology. And specialization, of course, as Anand was saying, you must be good in some subject.
Yeah,
or very good in some.
we are good in the quaternary geology. We have specialization in quaternary geology. We have specialization in the micropaleontology also. We have one of the very good colleague, Professor R.S. Rana. So he's working on the paleontology, and I am dealing with the glaciology as well as the engineering geology also. So these are the specialization MSc we are providing there.
Yeah, there are limitations in a university. It's not so easy to work, and specialists are so less. So we have to join together, communicate to each other. Otherwise, everybody is in Delhi only. So somebody should come to Srinagar also. or in Lucknow. That is there should be interaction. Thank you, Danbal.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I have to show something. Like when I was looking for this job opportunity and in the Indian scenario, like I was not getting any kind of statistic. Like the one thing is here we can talk about there are various opportunities are there. Like, but when we look at the statistic, like how much a BSc geology student is getting observed in a geological job, or what kind of job they are preferring. So while searching, I couldn't get data, but from other country I could able to collect some of the things. I will take only 2 minutes just to show this thing to the panelists. And yeah, please share. Right. Oh. Yes. Okay, so slide is, I hope slide is visible. So this career path, when we are talking about this career path, like we have lot of career path when we are guiding a young mind. But when I was trying to check like how the where these students are going, how these students are choosing their path. So I was looking for some statistics. So here I got a very interesting data. This is from a science magazine. Like in the NASA, NOAA, and in the different organizations, if you see, they are looking for like a lot of these earth scientists. So you can see from 2009 to 2016, there was 41% increase in the earth. If you look at the domain, in that the requirement was high in the earth science domain. Exploration was decreased. And you can see in other, when you compare with the planetary heliophysics or astrophysics, compared to that, the requirement of this earth scientist was much higher in the NASA. And this is the core priority, focusing on the core priority of the NASA. And then I was looking at some other AGI, that American Geological Institute, and the data from this labor statistic, this is old data, 2013 data. But if you look at this, in the geoscientists, they get maximum job in the nearly 50% in the oil and gas industry. Mining, they are going for 10. Environmental aspect, they are going 8. Academia, 16. And government, 17. And I was looking at another data where how like after BSc, how many are actually getting or retaining in the geology, how many they are moving to other discipline. That also, that statistic was very interesting to me to see how exactly these people are moving to other discipline or they are taking other career path. So here, like within the geology, how people are moving to different domain, being a bachelor degree in graduate in the geoscience. After that, what discipline they are choosing? It's like after master degree, after doctoral degree, they are going to this different domain. And there was another chart from this AGI I got. There they have explained during this COVID pandemic, what are the skill people have developed. These geoscientists, they have developed looking into the employability and that thing. So they are like during this pandemic time, they have learned about the machine learning. They have studied about the artificial intelligence. Like one of our panelists talked, Dr. Vikram was talking about, and Dr. Anand also talking about this artificial intelligence and big data, statistic. And some of the geoscience graduates, they were looking for like how to do business. So they have developed that skill. So in the AGI, they have very nice this thing, and they are also like after retirement, a geoscientist after retirement, what are the opportunities are there, how they are getting engaged, and how they are promoting young mind to become select their career path. So it was really interesting while looking at all those points. So without spending much time, we'll move to some of the question what people have, students have asked here. One thing they have asked, like during this pandemic or similar situation, how do we go for this field work or this practicals? Because it's a very, very, very difficult, like when throughout our discussion, this field component, the how to identify the rock, or all those things. It's required actually field work, lab examination, practical. If a MSc student is not able to do such kind of thing, maybe in future we don't know. Hope these things will be over soon. But in such kind of scenario, how we can actually train our younger generation? Being from the academic, we are really facing a challenge because we depend on different kind of virtual practicals, but still when we are telling that in the color is blue or color is the black, some orange color, they are facing some other. For them, it is the other color. So can you? It's open. The question is open.
Dr.
May I answer to this one?
Yes, sir. Okay.
It is a question by Guru Prasad Das.
Yes.
You cannot you should not in pandemic. It is not suggestible, advisable to go out and get into sort of more trouble. But if you are moving out and if you are seeing any rock, now that you know us, you can put it across to me. Like I was getting from Madan Sahu from the Indian areas. So he was asking whether this is a fold. He was getting recumbent fold in Indians. So I said, no, this is a penny contemporary deformation. It is because of the weight and the sediments being so they just moved within that domain. The upper layer and the lower layer, they have not been deformed. So we can help now that we know each other. If they are going anywhere, or we can show also whatever we have got. Today also I'll send to Jitendra. I downloaded the full description of a granitic area from a paper. And it gives a complete description of what, the author is a lady known to me. She has described the whole. So some sort of a pictorial atlas situation. Then Soumya Jyoti is an atlas of structural geology. Yesterday I was saying 286 GB. So I could not send to Jitendra. Otherwise I was thinking to, but I'll give you the link and you can download those atlas. Jitendra can give it to Prithviraj or
Okay. Thank you.
You should download all the, like I have given in my book compilation. All the atlases, they are all downloadable from somewhere. Yes, Soumya Jyoti is in IIT Bombay. So Vishal knows him. He's a wonderful structural atlas and all those. Shear zone atlas, even bathymetric atlas. This is the way only, and we are always anywhere, any field, any deformation, so we can always be there.
Okay.
And they can go to the local, if colleges are having some, Rewa is having, Jabalpur is having, Sagar is having such a nice rock collection. So you can do that way, sort of a virtual way. Again, what to do till the pandemic is over.
Now I can see Dr. Anand has raised his hand. So Dr. Anand.
Yeah, Dr. Patnaik, I would like to respond to the two questions from Dash and Halda. There is absolutely no substitute for field work. So unfortunately, the pandemic time has made life difficult for all of us. And you should also understand that the industry is aware of that. So the employment agencies are aware of that. What you are missing is the learning. It is not going to affect your employment opportunity as long as you fulfill the criteria that the recruiter is putting forth. But having said that, there is a lot of virtual resources available. Like right now, I have shared one in the chat box. In fact, last winter semester, I was teaching the students petrography using this particular website, and they have a huge lot of mineral petrographic and mineral thin section and rock petrographic thin sections and slides, and you can actually look at a lot of the features that you would otherwise even miss out from a real microscope. Of course, it is again not a substitute for a real life microscopic study, but we do have resources, and unfortunately India is not at the forefront of developing such resources. We have a lot other problems we are yet to sort out. But developed countries, they are providing free of cost open source materials that anybody can go through. And so to Mr. Haldar's question, unfortunately, again, you cannot do away with many of the sciences. Geology has totally become a multidisciplinary science, and no longer it is even called as an earth science. We are trying to include as much as possible and try to call that as an earth system science, because our understanding has improved so much that every single system that is coming out of the earth, it has to come under the domain of earth science. So we should be knowledgeable to some extent. You are not going to become a chemist, you are not going to become a mathematician. So we should have some fundamental understanding about these things, and geochemistry, mind it is much easier than pure chemistry, much easier. So even if you had a hatred for chemistry in your school, geochemistry is not. So do you think that most of we geologists, we were loving chemistry during our school times? We were not. In fact, I was not a fan of chemistry, but I am a geochemist now. So it is not a big deal. Geochemistry is much easier to learn. And in fact, in our department in Dhanbad, for the past 2 years, we have introduced a course called as Mathematics for Geoscientists. And it has been made compulsory for every single department. There will be a mathematics course which will be handled by the faculty member of that department. So we have to realize that the importance of mathematics is much than what you may imagine. So is the case with chemistry, physics, and geology is completely multidisciplinary. We cannot do away with it. So it is just you have to buckle up, try to improve your skills. There is no other goal. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anand, because we would like to continue this discussion, but I am sorry to say because we have already crossed our time, what we initially planned for. Although initially there was some glitch, technical glitch was there, so we could not start this event in time. There was 10 minutes late. So, and Honorable Vice Chancellor is busy with some other important meetings. Some delegates have come, so he is unable to join us here. So now we are going to end this event. So I will request Dr. Krishnakant to propose the vote of thanks. So we are skipping that presidential address part. Yeah. So Dr. Krishnakant, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jitin. So from on the behalf of our Department of Geology, Central University of Punjab, I would like to thank first today's resource person, Sri N.K. Datta, former GSI Director General, and Sir has given the very informative talk, especially for young minds, young students who have joined from different parts of our country through online. I hope the students are by this time already oriented towards selecting the appropriate path towards their careers, especially in the earth science stream. Then we'd like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor R.P. Tiwari, for allowing us to organize such event. And Sir has been our source of inspiration. And we hope that Sir will continue doing that in future also. Then I would like to thank today's panelists. And I'd like to just spend some time, your precious time, to just mention each panelist over here. So I would like to start from Professor Naiwal Sir. He is a professor from Garhwal University. And I hope the students have got ideas from his views. He have mentioned about climate change, the recent climate change and its effects towards the environment he has mentioned about the anthropogenic pollutions towards our environment and other aspects. And there are also scopes where these aspects, can studied well for the students, and they can opt this one of their career options. Then I can quickly next extend my thank to Dr. Vikram Vishal, who is associate professor in IIT Mumbai. He has mentioned very interesting and very thought-provoking ideas in terms of global climate change, in terms of changing trends in the geoscience studies in the recent times. He has mentioned about carbon dioxide sequestration. He has even mentioned about the remote sensing and GIS, AI, intelligence, machine learning. All these are the scopes where the students can, look for it and then go for it and have a successful career. And I would also extend our thanks to Dr. R. Anand, who brilliantly, shared his thoughts towards many aspects relating to geoscience, such as, just geospatial technology, AI, learning, then economy, mineral deposit exploration using cutting-edge technologies. Then he has even mentioned about internal upskill towards the climate change reality, and he has given the emphasis towards to become a successful academia as one of the best career options. Then I would like to thank Dr. Ranjan Dekka, who actually share a lot of information towards the technical aspects regarding the earth science streams, such as, he has mentioned about the options available in the industry regarding the sustainable development of our environment. Even he mentioned about the optimum use of resources available in and around us. And he mentioned about the skill availability of each students, the potential that students have towards exploring the skill availability. And he mentioned about remote sensing, GIS, then types of mineral deposits available in our country. And these are the lucrative options which is there in and around us from the industrial aspect. Then I would like to thank to Dean of our school, Dr. Mittal. I hope he's here. And I'd like to thank the President, IIC, Central University of Punjab, Professor Munisha Madam, who is here. And we thank her so much for bearing his precious time with us and be with us as a senior most, faculty and looking after all of us today at this point of time. And then I would also like to thank our coordinator, ICSTP, Central University of Punjab, Dr. J.K. Patnaik, our colleague, head of the department of our department. Then I'd like to thank HOD of our Department of Geology, my colleague, Dr. J.K. Patnaik. And we'd like to thank HOD Environmental Science and Technology, Dr. Sunil Mittal, I have is here. And we'd like to thank HOD Geography Department, Dr. Guite. And we'd like to thank the faculty members of our university. I have to start from our department. Dr. J.K. Patnaik, who is here leading the department. Then I'd like to thank Dr. Milan, who is a very dynamic and young, hard worker of the department. And I'd like to thank our Rahul, Dr. Rahul, who is joining offline, through internet. Then I'd like to thank the other faculty members joining from other departments through online, like Geography Department, then Environmental Science Department, and other departments of this university, and also from elsewhere. Then I'd like to thank research scholars. I'd like to thank students who are joining from different parts of this country. And today's discussion, today's event is basically meant for them. And I hope that by this time you must have oriented yourself for selecting the appropriate paths towards your career in terms of, available art science options. Okay, and with this, I think, once again, I would like to thank from the behalf of our department and from my own behalf that for bearing with us and this time and then sharing your thoughts for the students and for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Srikanth. So I would request the panelists, because today time was less, again we'll meet on some other day with some other topic and with more time, and we can discuss in more detailed way. So today
It requires awareness, actually.
Yes.
It requires more awareness. And no sort of dejection. The children the young friends should know that there are a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
And we do not ask sort of tough questions in the interview. We only ask how the Brunton works, where is the North Pole, if you work on the Southern Pole, what sort of difficulties are there. So we do not ask very difficult questions. That is, I can tell the questions also. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. So last part is there, sir.
Ranjan Dekka. Kalpana ji, namaskar aapko bhi.
So I would request everyone kindly
Answer all the questions that are given to us through Jitendra. Any question?
Yes, sir. I will collect the
And
questions.
I can show you all India, all the rocks of India.
Sir, I will collect the question and I will send it to you, sir. So now we are at the end of the event. So I request everyone kindly stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय जय
Thank you. Thank you. Bye everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Patnaik and your peers for making this happen.
Thank you so much.
See you again.
Thank you all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.